Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all safe and healthy. So today I'm here at the AlSaber Cars dealership to take a look at the 2022 model of the Range Rover. And before we go ahead and take a look at the Range Rover itself, I just wanted to give a big thanks to AlSaber for allowing me to come here and make the video with the Range Rover, and to show my appreciation, I want you guys to go ahead and follow them on their Instagram page. The link will be in the description below, and also I'll be leaving the location link down below for those who are watching this video from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So you can come here to their showroom and take a look at the amazing collection that they have. And they do have a really nice collection, and I think it's one of the best collection I have seen here in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. It is pretty impressive, so do come here and check them out, and also let them know on their latest Instagram post that you are there after watching my videos, so that in the future they will allow me to make videos with more cars. So that's all I had to say. And if you're watching my videos for the first time, guys, do leave a like and do subscribe to the channel as well, and do turn on your notifications so that you'll be the first ones to know when I upload later videos. And now let's take a look at the Range Rover. Alright guys, so here it is, the 2022 model of the new Range Rover, and let me talk about the models that we get here in Saudi Arabia. So in Saudi Arabia we have basically 5 models, and we have the base Range Rover, and that is split into SE and HSC. Then we have the autobiography, then we have the first edition, then we have the SV or special vehicle. The SV models are a bit more customizable than these standard models, and you have a lot more paint options and themes in them as well. So let's talk about the price. And this particular first edition model is 1,075,000 riyals. So I'll convert it into dollars for you guys, but that's the price. Now that the price is out of the way, let's talk about the design now. So to talk about the design of the new Range Rover, I think I have only 3 words for it: clean, simple, and evolutionary. That is also the design theme that Range Rover went with, because they told that this is a more of an evolutionary design, and they wanted to keep it as simple as possible. So that's why they chose this design features. And the previous Range Rover was already a good looking SUV, so no doubt this looks really good as well. So let's start with the front, and the headlights, as you can see, are slimmed down when compared to the previous model here, and you have sequential indicators. I'll just play a clip of how they look. And this one, the first edition model, has digital LED with the image projection as well. Only if you go for the base model you get pixel LEDs, otherwise all the model above the base SE have the digital LEDs. Then this is the grille of the new Range Rover. Simple design, no fuss, and it does look really good. And you have Range Rover written up top proudly. Then you also have your Land Rover badge, which hides all the radar sensors for your cruise control and safety systems as well. Then coming down to the front, you can see the overall design of the front bumper is really clean and simple. They have removed a lot of the clutter from the previous model year's face, and it just looks really nice and elegant. So depending on the trim, you'll have a different lower bumper design. The SV has a different bumper. All the other models, like the autobiography, do have the same style of lower bumper, but I think the color is a bit different. It's like a golden or bronze. This one has a silver finish to it. Then you can see we have the front camera right here along with the parking sensors, and down below you have your LED fog lamps as well. Then, by the way, if you're not a fan of the silver on the front, you can opt for the shadow exterior pack, so that blacks out the Range Rover name, the grille, and all the silver surrounds around the car, so it will have a blacked out look. So that's the front. Let's talk about the paint now. So this is a metallic paint, obviously, and it's called Charlotte Grey. I hope I pronounced that right, but at times it looks a bit brownish, to be honest, but Range Rover call it Charlotte Grey. If you want, you do have quite a few other options as well in terms of paint, and you also have a satin paint option as well. Then this is the side profile of the new Range Rover, and it's pretty much similar to the older generation, just cleaner and simpler. Like I told you, those 3 design features that Range Rover have followed through. So let's take a look at the wheels. So these particular rims are 23 inches, and if you go for the shadow exterior pack, you get a different design of rims, and I do particularly like those ones more than this one. And the size of this tire is a 285 section tire, and it has a 40 series sidewall. Then you can see we have some pretty huge disc brakes at the back with your Brembo brake calipers in black. I don't think you have an option for coloring those brake calipers, because I couldn't find any on the website as well. Then moving on to the side, you can see we have a nice character line that starts from the headlights and goes all the way to the back, and it does look really good. Then one thing Range Rover have done over here is that they have cleaned this section. You can see normally most of the cars have something like that rubber seal around the windows, but Range Rover have removed that over here, and because of that it looks really clean. Then down the side, one thing that they have changed is this part over here on the fender or the doors. On the previous Range Rover, they had a 3-slatted design. Obviously they were not functional, but you had a different design, and this one has this style of design now. And you can black out the silver part with the shadow exterior package as well. And on the side you don't have any other badge saying it's a first edition. You only get a small badge over here if you have the autobiography edition. The first edition removes all the badges around the car just to give it a bit more understated look, so that's a good thing, or maybe it depends on you. If you want badges you can add it for no cost, but I think the badgeless design looks a lot better. Then the below parts of the door are painted in black. Range Rover said they have done that because they wanted the car to look higher than it actually is, and it will be painted black on all models, no matter which trim you go. Then this particular model I think is the short wheelbase version. It's not the long wheelbase, because from the length of the rear door and the body itself, I think I'm getting a small idea of how big this car is. Then you have one of my favorite features in any car. You have the retractable door handles, and you know the mechanism, how it works. You basically have seen it in Range Rover Velar and many other manufacturers' products as well. Currently I don't have the key with me, that's why the doors are kept open, so I can't show you the moving mechanism of it. Then we come to the rear wheel. So the rear wheel is the same size as the front, so 285 section, 40 series sidewall, and the 23-inch rim. In terms of suspension, by the way, you have electronic air suspension with a dynamic response. It is standard across all of the Range Rover models, and you also have an E-active differential which has torque vectoring braking as well. So what that basically means that if you're turning into a corner, the system will brake the inside wheels to help you turn faster. So that's basically torque vectoring with braking. And you also have all-wheel steering, so basically in low speeds the rear tires will turn opposite to the front, and at high speeds they'll turn in the same direction for good stability. So moving to the back is where you see a lot of the major changes for the new Range Rover, especially in the tail light departments. At first glance you might think there are no tail lights, but obviously they have hidden it clearly over here, and I'll just show you a clip of how they look when they're turned on. But Range Rover basically did that again for keeping it clean and simple, and I think it does look really good. Then you have Range Rover written in the middle proudly, and you have your backup camera as well, and again no badges other than the Land Rover and Range Rover badge. Then moving down, you do have another silver trim on the tailgate itself, since it's a split style tailgate. Then moving down to the bottom, you can see we have a black bumper, and you have some more silver surrounds, and your reverse lights are hidden right below those reflectors over there. One more thing, in terms of off-road, the ground clearance in the standard suspension mode is 219 millimeters, and in its highest position it is 295 millimeters, so you can easily go off-road in any situations and you won't be stuck. And it also has a max weighting capability of 900 millimeters as well. Up top I wanted to show you, you can see we have two shark fin antennas instead of one. So Range Rover says they need that because nowadays the connectivity and stuff, the 5G and all, you have to have two antennas for better connectivity. So we are done with the exterior now. Let's take a look at the boot space. Okay, so we have an electrically operated boot, and you can see it's a split style tailgate. So to open this part, you have this button here separately, and that folds out. So you can see we have a pretty nice amount of space, and in total behind the second row of seats you have 1050 liters of space, or 37 cubic feet. And if you fold down the rear seats, you get 2335 liters of space. That's like 82 cubic feet, so pretty nice. Then you can see this is the load cover. It is a nice and premium load cover as well. And then the carpeting all around is really nice. You do have, I think so, yeah. You can see you have the divider over here, and when you open up the divider you can see you have some straps inside. So these straps allow you to secure anything in those things, and you can adjust the size of that with those strips as well. Then you do have some tethering points all around, and let me just close this back up. And you also have another way, you can open it this way as well, so it locks in this place, and if you want you can park it in some nice place in a park, and you can sit here and have a small lunch or snack. And you can see we have the cup holders hidden here as well. This particular model does not have the option, but if you want you can get some leather seat covers as well, so you can remove them and keep it here and attach here as well, and you can sit more comfortably if you want. Then all around the boot you can see we have LED lighting, and you do have some controls here as well. So this control over here folds down the rear seats. Then you do have a lot more controls as well, so you can lower the air suspension or increase the height. Then you can move the seats forward, you can deploy your tow bar, and I'm not particularly sure of this one. I think it's to move the seat forward, but those are all the controls on your side. Then you do have some netting and a 12-volt socket as well. One more small feature you have, since this car has the speaker systems from Meridian, the speaker is attached over here. So when you are sitting over here, you can use the speaker system to listen to songs, and you do have some lights here as well, which are touch controlled over here. You can see they just got brighter, so you have those lights for if you're sitting in the night time and you need some light over you, you can just use that. Okay, so overall a pretty impressive boot, and I think it is one of the largest boot spaces in among its competitors, and the competitors include something like the Lexus LX, then you have the Cadillac Escalade, then you have the Lincoln Navigator. So all of those high-end luxury SUVs are the main competitors for the Range Rover. And now let's take a look at the engine bay. Alright guys, so here it is, the engine bay of the new Range Rover, and you have quite a lot of engine options, especially here in Saudi Arabia. We have 3 engine options. We have the P360 and we have the P400. Then you have this, the P530. So the P360 and the P400 are 3-liter inline sixes which are turbocharged, and they are mild hybrid as well. But this one, the P530, is a 4.4-liter twin turbocharged V8 that produces 523 horsepower or 530 PS as the name suggests. P530. Then you have 750 Newton meters of torque or 553 pound-feet. So pretty nice. And I think you have a 10-speed or 8-speed automatic transmission. I couldn't find the details of it anywhere, but I'll let you know when I put up the technical details. Then this whole package moves this car, which weighs around 2,585 kilos or 5,700 pounds, from 0 to 100 in 4.6 seconds, which is pretty impressive for such a large SUV. And you have a top speed of 250 kilometers per hour or 155 miles per hour. So if fuel efficiency is not your concern, then the V8 is the best option, or you can go for the P400, which has mild hybrid tech as well, which helps in fuel efficiency, and you have a decent amount of power in that as well. There are some new engines that Range Rover have introduced as well, but for some reason they are not available here in Saudi Arabia. So they are P450E and you have a P510E. So basically they are hybrid systems. So instead of being mild hybrid, that is they are assisted by a small electric motor, those ones are a full electric hybrid which you can charge. The mild hybrids you can't charge. So those are all the engine options for the new Range Rover. And now let's move on to the interior. So with the interior, again Range Rover follows that same ethos that I told you about. So clean, simple and evolutionary. You can see hints of the older Range Rover in it, but it is a totally new design, and they have cleaned up a lot of the clutter inside the cabin, which I think they have done a really nice job with. So let's talk about the door trim now, and the door trim is covered in this black Winster leather. You also have a beige option as well, but this one has the black interior option. The leather is really nice and soft. You can just take a look when I press over here. It is really soft to the touch. You have good stitching all around over here, and the first edition package comes with the extended leather pack as well. So you have leather flowing all the way till the bottom over here, and I think that is something you have to get on the new Range Rover, because it just feels really nice and soft. Then moving down, we have this dark open pore wood, which I really like. Open pore wood designs are my favorite. You can also get a lighter wood color as well, but this one has the dark option. Then you have the seat controls here, and one thing that Range Rover have done is that they have integrated the memory seat buttons inside the seat controls itself. So pretty nice. And these seats I think are the 24-way adjustable seats, so you have a lot of adjustability if you want. Then down below again you have the soft leather with your window switches and your side mirror controls as well. Then you have your door handle, and everything that I'm touching over here is of high quality. I don't feel any cheap plastic anyway. Then you have your central locking down below, and you have a decent size of door storage as well. It is lined with felt. Then down below here you have your speaker system. This one has the Meridian signature audio system. You can also get a Meridian 3D sound system as well. It's an optional extra. If you want, you can get that. One feature I forgot to tell you, this particular model does not have the running boards. If you want, you can get them as an optional extra. You have a fixed running board, or you have a foldable option as well. Then you can see the door goes all the way to the bottom. So if you come out of an off-road situation and your doors are dirty, when you open the door, the inside of the door will not be dirty, and when you get out, it won't dirty your pants as well. Then moving on, since I told you this is the first edition, you have the sill plates which are illuminated by the way, and you have first edition written on them, and these are how the seats look, which is pretty nice. On the side over here you only have one control, and that's the button to open your tailgate, and that's about it. So let's take a seat inside and I'll show you around the interior. Okay, so I'm in the interior of the new Range Rover, and first things first, I have to say that the quality in here, the smell of the leather, everything is amazing, and the design itself is really nice and amazing as well. So let me first start with the dashboard quality. And as expected, since this has the extended leather package, everything is covered in soft touch leather. You have this nice stitching, even this part is covered in leather, and it just feels nice to touch. And you can see the updated infotainment displays as well. This is your 13.1 inch PV Pro display, and I think this is a 12-inch display, but both of them are really nice and high quality. We'll come to them later. But about the cabin quality, everywhere you touch and feel, it is high quality. You won't find any kind of cheap plastics, which I think is really nice attention to detail. Then you can see the AC vents right over here, and they are covered in a nice silver trim. You have a hazard button, and you have a small silver strip running down over here as well. Then let's take a look at the steering wheel. So the steering wheel is also updated for the new model year. The design of the steering wheel is a bit more nice and classy as well. You have a smaller place for your horn, and I think the previous generation one looked pretty old, but this one looks nice, modern and clean. Then you have pretty large paddle shifters as well, and they are metal. Then you have your light controls and indicator controls at the back, with your windscreen wiper controls over there. Then you have your electric steering wheel control over there as well. Then on the steering wheel itself, you do have some controls. So this part has some shortcut buttons on it. You can see we have your call function, favorites, and a center button, and two side buttons as well. There's your voice assistant, and this is your scroll wheel. Then you have your cruise control settings over here, and you also have your heated steering wheel as well. Then this part is covered in this nice silver trim. I don't know if you can black it out with the shadow exterior pack, but I don't think you have any option like that for the interior. Then let's take a look at this 12-inch display, and it does look really nice and crisp. Currently you can see it's set to its speedometer and tachometer display mode. Currently you can see it's showing your differentials in the middle, so if they're locked or unlocked, and you can cycle through the display using this button over here. Okay, so let's press this middle button over here, and then you go into information panel and you click it again. Then it's showing you your 4x4 information or driver assistance, or basically you can keep it empty as well, or you can even display your navigation in that small space, or media, or a trip computer, and back to your 4x4 information. Then you can go into display layout again, and in display layout you have, currently it's set to dial. You can make it map. So when you make it map, you can see it displays the full map around. Then you can go back again into display layout and change it to, then you have a focused display layout as well, and it shows it this way. And you can change the information on both the right hand and left hand side of the display in the focus layout, but I personally like this display. Then you have your trips, then you have your trip selection, then you have some heads up display settings, and you have your heads up display right there as well. Let me just try to show you. So there's your heads up display, and then you have some vehicle settings. In that you can take a look at tire pressure, passenger airbag, and other things. So that's all the functionality in the digital driver's display, and I think it's one of the better systems in its class, with the Mercedes being at the top, and then BMW, and I think then this is a pretty nice system as well, along with the Cadillac. Then we come to the central display, and this is a 13.1 inch display. So you have the latest PV Pro system from JLR, and let me just show you some of the functionality in it. So you have your navigation here, you can display a full map, then you have your phone, and it has both wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as well. Then you have your music, then you have your vehicle settings. So in vehicle settings you can change your ride height, so you have auto, off-road, normal, or access. Then in the drive setting you have your dynamic stability control, auto brake, and engine start stop stuff. So that's all the controls over there. Then you have some more menu controls, so navigation, accounts, you can go into seats, you can adjust your seats. Then you have your massage, and you have more other functions as well. So this chauffeur one, you can fold all your seats, and if you go into the chauffeur setting right over here, you can push this seat in the front so that the passenger over here will have more space. Then you have your climate controls, cameras, and when we go into cameras, you can see this one has the 3D surround view camera, and you can change it to any angle you want. So you can check the wheels, then you have the side profile, so you can basically take a look all around the car. I wish they would have color matched the body of the car inside the system to the body of the car or to the color of the car that we have in real life. And I think that would have been better for attention to detail. It would have just looked a lot better. Then this is your off-road camera, so it shows you your front camera and your side view cameras as well, so that you can place the car properly in an off-road situation. Then you have towing as well. One more thing, you have this view as well, so that as you move across, the camera scans the front and that will be displayed over here as well, so that you can just crawl over the rocks better. Then you have a valet mode, you have eco data, then you have your dynamic stuff. So in dynamic mode, you can just select all the suspension settings and steering settings as well. Then you have vehicle dimensions, low traction launch, and all that, and park assist, cabin lighting, all that stuff. So cabin lighting is basically your ambient lighting, and currently, since the showroom is pretty bright outside, the cabin lighting is not showing up. And basically that's all there is to show in the PV Pro system. Then moving down, we have the climate control settings, and one thing Range Rover have done that I really like is how they have integrated a lot of stuff in this rotary control over here. So currently right now I can just adjust the temperature to 20, 25, 19 like that, and then if I want to turn on my ventilated seats, I just have to push, and then my ventilated seats are turned on and I can adjust them accordingly. Then I press it back, it goes back to your temperature. But if I pull it, then it goes into the fan controls and I can adjust the fans accordingly to that. So pretty impressive. And again, Range Rover say they have done that for that cleaner aesthetic look, and you have your rest of your climate controls over here. Then coming down to the center console itself, you have again that dark open pore wood finish, and you have these nice metal inserts in them. This part is metal as well, and it is a cubby hole, so you can just open it up, and inside you have a wireless charger, you have some storage space and a USB-C port as well, and then you can just close it up. Then here's your gear shift lever, and you have your start stop button, your volume control, and this is your terrain response system. So with this you can go through different programs. So currently it's in comfort, I think so. Then you have eco, dynamic, comfort, then you have grass, gravel, snow, then you have mud ruts, then you have sand, then you have rock crawl, then you have wading, and you have configurable mode as well. But let's just keep it in comfort program for now, and we can just shut it down by, and we can just push it down like that. Then you have your low range mode over here and hill descent control as well. Then moving down, you have another wood panel over here with those silver inserts, and you can push them back to reveal a lot of space. So you can see inside you have a USB-C, a USB-A, and a lot of space. But you might be wondering, where are the cup holders? So you can just pull this part up, and here are your cup holders. So a pretty nice design features. So if you want a lot of space, you can just put things inside, and then you can cover them up with your cup holders, so nobody will know what's inside. Just remember that you don't forget what you kept inside, otherwise that will be a problem. Then here's your armrest, and it is nice and soft as expected, and you have a lot of storage as well. You have another phone storage here. It is not a wireless charger, by the way. And then here you have your fridge. You have 2-stage cooling for it, and it is an optional extra, but I think it comes as standard on the first edition model. If you want as normal, you get a standard space with no cooling in it. Then these seats have the armrest for each the driver's side and the passenger side as well, and it is to be expected. The Range Rover has had that for quite a long time. And then let's take a look at the glove boxes, and it does have 2 glove boxes, and the control for both of them are up top here. So this top arrow is for the top side, so you can just open it like this, and then you have your felt line upper glove box with a USB port over there as well. You can just close it this way. Then this down arrow opens this glove box, and you have another nice amount of space with, and it's lined with felt as well. Then moving on, here you have your frameless rear view mirror, and if you want, you can just switch it to a rear camera view as well. So you know, so if you have filled up a lot of stuff in the cargo space, you can use the camera to view. Okay, then moving up top, you have your controls for your lights. So these are touch sensitive lights, and you also have your controls for your sunroof. So it has a nice huge panoramic sunroof. As you can see, it goes away, it goes till the back. One design feature I wanted to show you are the grab handles over here. So they are pretty nice and high quality, and they are covered with leather as well. Now let's talk about the space. So being a full-size SUV, you have to expect a lot of space in it, and it does have a lot of space. Despite me wearing this cap, I have a lot of headroom, and I'm pretty comfortable in these seats as well. I am 6'4" or 195 centimeters, and I'm on the largest side. So despite that, I feel really comfortable in these seats, and that is pretty impressive. The overall visibility around the car is really nice as well, and you can easily place it anywhere you're driving. And this is something Range Rovers are pretty famous for their high riding position, so that is pretty nice as well. So let's move on to the back and we'll take a look at the rear seat space. Okay, so let's take a look at the rear door trim, and it is similar to the one in the front. You have all the same nice touch materials with your windstud black leather. You have the same wood material with the open port finish, but at the back you do have some controls. So the seat controls are the same as the front, but here along with the window controls you have some different type of controls as well. So this is a standard window control, but you can see this button over here. With this you can switch it to that window as well, and you can control that window with this switch over here. Then you have your reading lamp controls, then you have your blind controls, and you have I think a mute button as well. And then when you pull up on the window control, you have your sunshade as well, which is electronically operated. So this particular model has this armrest over here, which is kind of fixed. I don't know, for some reason it's not going up, but it is foldable, so do believe me. And if you want, you can get a standard bench option as well with the standard armrest. It does not have a lot of features like this one. And if you want, in the SV model particularly, you can get a executive seating package as well, which gives you a full armrest, and you have executive rear seats as well. And now let's take a seat inside and see how the space is over there, and take a look at some of the features. Okay, so I'm in the back seat of the new Range Rover, and one thing and the first thing that I am noticing is that the legroom is limited, because this is the standard wheelbase model. If you want a lot more legroom, then you have to go for the long wheelbase version. This short wheelbase version does not have a lot of legroom. For someone of my size, I'm 6'4". I'll remind you that again. But other than that, the headroom is pretty nice. I'll just show that to you. So as you can see, the headroom is pretty good. Again, I can just slouch down a bit, and this cap is a bit high, but without the cap I do have a lot of headroom, which is pretty good, and as expected from a full-size SUV. The only issue was the legroom, but you can easily solve that by buying the longer wheelbase version. I'm recommending this only for the tall people, but people below 6 foot should be fine in the standard wheelbase as well. Then let's take a look at some of the features around. Okay, so this particular model has the rear entertainment package, and you have two 11-inch screens at the back, and you can display your navigation on it, or you can attach something to the HDMI cables and watch a movie on it, or technically you can even play your PlayStation on it. But other than that, you don't have any functionality. But I think what JLR should have done is that they should have put the same functionality as that display in here as well, so that the rear passenger could control a lot of the stuff from here. Then up top we have an AC vent, and you have some coat hooks, and you have your reading lights, and again the same high quality grab handles. Then here you have your climate controls with the same functionality as in the front, so you can push it to control your ventilated seats, and you can pull it to control your fan speed, and push it back again for your temperature. Then let's take a look at the central armrest. So this central armrest currently has this sort of wood finish over here. For some reason I cannot push it up, I don't know why, but you do have the same high quality leather material here as well, and you have a decent amount of storage. And then at the back you can see we have the USB-Cs and your HDMI ports over there. Then in the middle you have another screen, and you can slide it open, and here you can control your seats, your blinds, your rear screens, your lighting, all that stuff basically. And oh, this also extends, and this extends over here, as you can see, as I press this button, and I think and that reveals your cup holders. I didn't even know this thing had that feature, so that is pretty nice. And you can just press that again, and it slides back. I just found out how you can fold the rear armrest up. You have to press this button over here, and it automatically does that. So pretty impressive, and I didn't know this thing had that stuff. So there we go, and that's how the armrest looks when it's closed up. And technically you can sit 3 people over here, but don't tell them to touch this button over here, or it will just crush them. As you can see, this part folds down electronically. So overall, I think that's all there is I can show in the new Range Rover. So guys, that was the video on the new Range Rover. I hope you enjoyed it a lot. And what do I personally think about it? Obviously, I couldn't get to drive it. It's a customer car. It's not meant to be test driven because this is a third-party dealership. It's not the actual JLR dealership. Only the official dealers have test drive vehicles. third-party dealers have fully loaded vehicles that are meant to be given directly to the customers, so that's why I can't test drive it. But from what I have read about the new Range Rover and also watched about it, everybody is really impressed by its ride quality and handling characteristics both on road and off road. So that is something you'll have to take their word for, and it is to be expected. Range Rover is pretty good when it comes to ride quality as well. And what do I personally think is that the new Range Rover, among all the full-size SUVs, I think is right now my favorite of all of them. The Cadillac Escalade and all might be a bit bigger in terms of size, but I think the features and the looks and the leather materials, the quality, everything else is really nice on the new Range Rover, and I think it's one of my favorite full-size SUV now. One thing I do recommend is that if you're on the taller side like me, like 6'4", you should go for the long wheelbase version of it, so that you have a lot more legroom in the back seats. But other than that, it is really good, and I think you should highly consider the new Range Rover. If fuel efficiency is your concern, then you can go for the P400 model that has the mild hybrid inline 6. But if that is not your concern, then you can go for the 523 horsepower V8. So any engine option you choose, by the way, you will be happy with it. So do consider the new Range Rover. And if you enjoyed watching the video, guys, do leave a like and do subscribe to the channel as well, and do turn on the notifications so that you'll be the first ones to know when I upload later videos. And thanks for watching, guys. Stay safe, stay healthy, and bye bye.